Yogaxpress. It's all about moving your body to still your mind. When the body is taken care of, the mind settles down by itself. You think that if your mind is calm, your body can do a lot of stuff. But you know what? You need to start with what's tangible right here. Mind is not tangible, it's inside of us. We visualize it. We take charge of our mind through our body, but finally it's the mind that the brain and the mind that gives instruction to the body. So it's really symbiotic. The mind and the body, they have to work with each other to reach the soul. I just made that up as I went along, but it just came so naturally, and it's true. To really reach into your insides, you need to have your mind, your body, and what we call Atma in Ayurveda, the spirit or the soul, in perfect alignment. I did promise to talk to you about the chakras, so I'm going to touch upon that. We have dealt with chakras in one of the previous episodes in a segment. I'm going to touch upon that for the simple reason I want you to understand when you do your posture practice, you need to send your mind's energy, you need to send your focus to one region of the body. And today, typically what you would do is you would send your mind, your energy to that part of the body that needs it the most. So if you're in pain in any given day, maybe in your knees, when you're doing your knee benders or any other posture for that matter, just focus on the knees. It's just easier to focus on the knees when you're doing knee bending posture. So if you're doing a back bend and you think of your knees, you might compromise your posture. So you want to do that in that correct segment. Before I move on, thank you for all your help to my amazing crew. Miguel, our director, Akram is helping Miguel out on the soundboard, and everything else worked by Brian Breton, responsible for the studio lights and the sounds. Now remember, you can join us every Monday morning, 7:30 to 8 a.m. That music, by the way, is intended to simulate the heartbeat, and it was created just for Yogaxpress by Cesar De Para, so thank you, Cesar, as well. Now, I deliberately changed my seated position to show you there are different ways you can do your seated stretches, especially when you're doing a breathing practice, but also to make you aware when you're in a seated position, and the way I'm sitting, my knees are not coming down all the way. In order to make that happen, sometimes you might need a pillow or a cushion or a brick or a block to help you bring your buttocks off of the ground. Right now, I don't have any of those props. In fact, that's going to be a promise for the future. I will bring the few props that I have. The way I was trained, your body can be your own prop. So you utilize what you have, your arms and legs. You use whatever props you already have, but sometimes we need a little extra help. So I'll bring a yoga belt, a brick, and I always have the mat as well. So remember, the reason I stretch on this mat is so it gives me traction. You can stretch on a concrete floor, you can stretch on sand. It's amazing how much abdominal strength you develop when you stretch on sand, because your feet need to get a good grip. You keep moving. You can also do your stretches in water. It's actually so much easier because you don't have that little, I like to call it my enemy, although it is intended as a friend for human beings, that little thing called gravity. There's much less gravity in water. So gravity is what brings my body down and your body down towards the center of the earth. It's what keeps us down. By the same logic, if you were to stretch in space, you'll be able to bring your feet behind your neck in no time at all. So we're not in space right now, we're not in the swimming pool either, we're on land, so we're going to make the most of what we have. Before I forget, and as you get older, you get sidetracked a little bit. So the reason you want to sit in a position that's comfortable. For me, since my knees don't come down when I'm sitting cross-legged, I need a bit of a prop to bring my buttocks up so my torso can stay upright, especially if you're doing breathing practice. I tend to sit on my heels. That actually brings my torso up. So if you're sitting on your heels, the way I am, bring your knees together, thumb and index touching. You can keep your palms facing down. If you're sitting cross-legged, as I showed earlier, thumb and index would still touch. That's keeping your electricity within your body, but you can keep your palms facing up. Chin mudra and Gyan mudra. Now, while I'm in this seated position, I want you to know that today, the plan for today was to show you a few postures, a few of those twists and stretches you can adapt sitting in a chair. So I'm going to get up, and that's why you have my little visitor behind me, this fancy chair, and I'm going to stand up and get on the chair just to show you. I'm going to move my fancy bottle out there just to show you that you can do these stretches wherever you are, seated, standing, in a wheelchair. Even if you're in a wheelchair, if you're able to move, you can adapt these stretches. So don't feel shy just because you don't have your full capabilities today. You just make the most of what you have. So while I'm sitting, fortunately for me, I'm not very tall. I'm 5'2". While I'm seated, I want to make sure that both my feet reach the ground nice and flat, so I can bring my knees in. That gives me more control of my upper body. Now, the 6 simple actions of the spine, if you recall: back bend, forward fold, twist to the left, to the right, and then you've got your side stretches. So let's start with the side stretch. I actually love the side stretch because it's so simple, so effective. Just sitting in the chair. When you talk about side stretch, what you're really talking is about stretching the obliques, the sides of your waist. So I'm going to go back just a little bit so I don't fall off. My feet are still touching the ground. You don't want to go so far back that your heels come off. Left palm stays on the left knee. Open up your right palm. Take your shoulders back, or you can even start slowly. Lift your right palm up. Turn your palm out. Keep inhaling. Take your palm all the way up. We talked about Hasta Uttana, arms raised. This is practically the same thing, except you're doing seated. You did Hasta Uttana, or arms raised, while you were standing. Now we're going to extend our body on the right side a little more and dip to the left. Exhale as you do that. Now I'm going to keep my thumb and index touching just to keep my focus in the moment. Exhale. As I dip to the left, now I'll open up my fingers just to get more out of my reach. As I dip to the left, I turn my head up. So I'm getting a nice deep side stretch. Now, if we did not have an arm on the left side, I'm actually grateful to have this arm here, but if you didn't have the arm, I'm going to try and grab the back of the chair. You might have something to grab on too, so you can go a little deeper. So I'll hold the back of the chair. There's a bit of a gap over here in this chair, so I'm lucky that way. Exhale and keep dipping. So like a flower that's trying to bloom, you're looking up, I'm looking up at the studio lights. They are my many little suns over here, S-U-N, sun. So as my arm extends, I'll see if I can stretch a little more. Hasta Uttana. Arms raised. Inhale, back to the center. Exhale, turn your palms out. Bring your right arm down. We're going to do the same stretch on the other side. Now, when the body starts to get tired, the knees start to go out. If that happens, bring your knees back in because that helps you stay alert, stay in the moment. Inhale, take the left arm up, all the way up. I can already feel a bit of a stretch here, but I don't feel the compacting on the right side just yet. And that's going to happen when I exhale and dip to the right. As I dip, I'm taking my right hand behind and holding on to the bottom of the chair, the seat of the chair, and I turn to look up at the raised arm. So let me see if I can get more of a stretch as I look at the tip of my fingers. I'm getting a beautiful stretch in my obliques on the left side. Inhale, back to the center, turn your palms out, exhale, and release. I'm going to come forward just a little bit so I can be closer to my postcard, and I don't have these wonderful, oh, it's my turtle that's actually shining on my face. That's fine. I have a nice little design on my face. Now I'm going to try a couple of twists. So here's what we're going to do. If you have an arms-free chair, you can use the back of your chair. So the back of the chair, for the back of the chair, in fact, I would probably, ideally, I would have my legs out to the side if there were no arms. So I'm going to just make my adaptation. Hold on to the back of the chair with your left hand. So notice how I've turned to my left side. The right hand on the arm of the chair, the left arm of the chair. Open up your shoulders, open up your chest, take your shoulders back, chin up, inhale. As you exhale, turn your upper body, turn your torso to the left. And take your head with you. So I may have to face away from the cameras. Actually, you know what? Yes, I may have to face away from the cameras for just a few seconds. Exhale and turn. Notice this is not a side stretch. This is a twist for your obliques. So right now I'm getting a nice compression on the left side. And while you're in this abdominal twist, you will feel a compacting of the muscles on the left, but you also feel a nice twist and a bit of a stretch of the obliques on the right side. Inhale back to the center, and let's try the other side. I'm going to switch over. Come on this side. Once again, I may need to turn away from you, but that's not because I'm upset with you. I love you guys. I love everyone who's watching, especially if you're watching and stretching with me. Right hand on the back of the chair, left hand on the arm of the chair. Take your shoulders back, open up your chest. That's to enhance your lung power, so make sure you make the most of your body. Remember, I always like to say, make the most of what you have. Come to terms with what you don't. If you don't have a real fancy body, like many people I know, who are really very limber, very beautiful, it's not easy, but we still make the effort. So inhale, exhale, twist to the right. In case I did not mention previously, when I'm twisting, I'm also pushing the back of the chair with my right hand and pulling the side of the chair with my left hand. So that way you have counter forces and it helps you twist deeper. Take your left shoulder forward, take your right shoulder back. Keep exhaling. Inhale, back to the center, and I'm going to come back and face you. It feels so good to be able to see you once more in the full screen, not just through the corner of my eye. Now we've done the side stretch, we've done the twist. Now you're going to ask me, how do I manage a back bend sitting in a chair? You can do it. Here's what I would recommend, and I'm only going with the postcard that I put together because that worked well for me. There may be a lot of back bends that other teachers may have taught you. Please feel free to try them out as long as you have been taught by a professional who is very, very careful with your body. You want to challenge yourself, but you don't want to hurt yourself. So here's your back bend. I'm going to place my hand, well, there's not enough space to place my palms down, facing down, so I'm going to have my palms facing up, just above the buttocks. So basically, you might even be able to see the tips of my fingers coming out from the side. But I take my shoulders back, inhale, stretch, and now I'm going to tilt my head and take my shoulders back just a little bit. And in order to do that successfully without falling off of the chair, I have come forward. I'm going to see if I can come forward just a little more. If I slide off the chair, that's fine. Have your laugh, but join me again and stay on your chair. Be safe. Inhale. Now I'm going to exhale, glide my palms down to the base of the chair, to just the top of the chair seat, and I'll tilt back. Now I feel fortunate that this chair has arms, so I'm going to use my elbows to push out sideways. That helps me go a little deeper. Inhale, come back up. Now because that felt a little bit intense in my low back, I'm going to do a little bit of a forward fold just to ease any tension. Now remember, in one of the previous episodes, several episodes also, I have always reminded you, if and when you are in pain in your low back, do a forward fold to release the tension. When your back feels strong enough, you can do back bends to strengthen your back. So here, I'm going to do a little bit of a forward fold. And for that, place both palms over your knees. I bring my knees out so body has a little bit of room to come forward. Elbows are out. Exhale and fold.
Let your neck and your head just hang loose. Let it all go. Inhale, and let's come up.
You've done some seated twists for 6 actions of the spine. Some of these postures, as long as you get your 6, the side twists, the side stretches, the twists in the obliques, and your back bend and forward fold, as long as you get them all in, your spine would feel healthy. So now let's do a full, proper forward fold. And I want to be safe. I don't want to fall off, whether it's on camera or off, I don't want to fall off my chair. Exhale, glide your palms. Now notice my knees are bent just a little bit. Now if I had a chair that I was totally confident of, I'd try and bring my feet out all the way. Exhale, lead with the chest.
Now this is a little bit of an adaptation from Paschimottanasana. Paschimottanasana, seated forward fold, bird beak, east facing.
Oh, there are so many names for every posture. Inhale and let's come up. There is one twist. Well, it's not really a twist, but it's a kind of a spinal undulation that I like very much. Unfortunately, that cannot be done very successfully in a chair. But I'm going to try that. I'm going to come down on one knee. Actually, I may need, okay, I'm going to come down on both my knees, but let's see if I can use the chair not to go over all the way. Now, if you're not able to come down on the mat, you might want to just understand that your spine can move like a wave even if you're sitting in the chair. But here's what I'm trying to demonstrate to you, and we'll see if we can adapt it to the chair because it's such a wonderful feeling for the spine. This is a cat position. You curl your toes in, inhale, bend your elbows in, dip your torso, uncurl your toes, arch your back.
Now, if we want to adapt this to a chair,
it's not easy to do the whole posture in a chair, but here's what I'm going to share with you, which helped me when I had a bit of a knee issue and I couldn't actually do it on the floor. Bring your knees out, bring your feet out, keep your knees bent. You're going to come forward, lift your chin up. That gives you your little back bend, and then go back.
so you're arching your back and you're tipping your chest forward. Inhale, come up.
Keep your eyes open when you go up. Exhale, arch your back. You could do that a couple of times as long as it continues to make you feel good. You just want to make sure you're literally massaging your spine by moving it in and out. So it's like a wave. So you could do that, but make sure you do it with your breath. The slower your breath, the deeper your stretch, and the stronger you feel at the end of the stretch. And while we are actually in the chair, I want to take advantage of this just to tell you about the 6 chakras we were talking about, because when you're talking about chakras, it's always easy to visualize the different regions of the body between the torso and the top of the head. You have your chakras in the pelvic region. I'm going to sit with my knees out, which is called Muladhara chakra. That's where we concentrate all our physical efforts. You have a chakra just below the navel called Swadhisthana. Swadhisthana is the chakra that deals with digestive issues and excretory issues actually. The real digestive issues start from the upper part, which is called Manipura, and each chakra has a different color. Think of the colors of the rainbow. You start basically it's a rainbow going backward. You start with red in the pelvic region, come to orange in Swadhisthana, the digestive region. The upper abdominal region is yellow, and you talk about yellow belly. Is it yellow belly? Yes, I believe you're talking about butterflies in your stomach. This is the part when you feel strong right here in the upper abdominal region. You are feeling very strong both mentally and physically. That's why there's so much stress, or so much focus, for want of a better word. I don't think stress is really the right word to use in yoga terms. There's so much focus on what you call the abs or the six pack. So this part of the body is a fulcrum. It's the equator of the body. This is where you really need to feel very strong in order to be able to face the world with all its complications these days. So you have yellow right here. Then you have the heart region, which is pink and green. But in the rainbow, the next color would be just green, but that pink is to show the blood circulation, the color of, if it's bright red, it would be the color of blood. But pink is to show some life in that region because it is your heart region. Next comes the throat. We're talking about chakras again. Throat region is blue, a deep, deep blue. You have indigo, and this one is called Vishuddhi, Vishuddha chakra. You have Ajna chakra, but in the eyebrow center, as I mentioned in one of the previous segments, between the eyebrows, where people usually place that right here. I would say this whole region, you talk about third eye, just think of the eye vertical, so it's somewhere there. Ajna chakra. Ajna is the color indigo, and then you have the violet color on the crown of the head, Sahasrara chakra. Sahasrara is just the ultimate sublimation. So if you're a person who likes to meditate, it would be good to know when you're meditating, take your breath through these different regions. In fact, let's try it out just for a few minutes. We have about 5 to 6 minutes. Let's do a simple, in the next segment, I'm actually going to take you through a biofeedback of your whole body when you're lying down. Right now, we have about 3-4 minutes. Let's do a simple chakra meditation. So keep your feet flat, palms on your knees, thumb and index touching, just to keep that electricity within your body. Keep your shoulders nice and take it back, nice and open. Chest is open. Take a deep inhale. As you exhale, take your mind's eye to the Muladhara chakra, the base of your spine. It's really all the chakras are positioned. Chakras are vortices of energy. They're positioned in the back of the body. But because it is hard to demonstrate the back of the body, you have to find a parallel in the front. So base of the spine, Muladhara chakra. Think of the color red. Make a sound, lam. Take 2 or 3 breaths. Take a deep inhale. Exhale through the Swadhisthana second chakra. Think of the color orange as you make the sound of vam. Exhale. Now inhale through that second chakra. Take your mind's eye all the way to the crown of the head, and as you exhale, bring your thought down and exit your breath through the above the navel through the third chakra, which is called Manipura, and the color is yellow. Sound is ram. Deep inhale through the second. Exhale through the third chakra. Ram. Inhale through the third chakra. All the way. Exhale through the heart chakra, which is in the seat of the chest region, slightly towards the left, but really it's called the heart chakra because it is the middle of the whole body. Think of the color green and a little bit of pink as you make the sound yam. So inhale through the third. Exhale through the heart. Yam. Before we move on to the next two, because we have the luxury of at least 2 more minutes,
I want to point out something. You will notice that your exhales, as you move up in your chakras, your exhales are getting longer. And the reason for that, the breath travels from the base, goes all the way to the spine, top of the head, and comes down the spine and exits. So by the time you exit your body, you've already exhaled most of your breath. Whereas when you're exiting higher and higher in your chakras, your exhale outside of the body gets longer and longer because there's a shorter distance from the crown to the heart, from the crown to the upper abdominal region. So you exhale, your breath gets longer. By the time you get to the brain, you'll see what happens. It really is very relaxing. So the next one, inhale through the heart region. Heart region is Anahata chakra. Let's inhale all the way and exhale through the throat area. As you think of the color blue and make the sound hum, hum. Where the more you exhale, the longer you exhale, the more you are letting go of negative emotions. So let it go. Inhale through the throat region, go to the top of the skull. Exhale through your eyebrow center. Think of the color indigo. Sound of Om. Ajna chakra. For the last one, you do not inhale through the forehead. You just inhale through the whole body. Think of as you release. Think of a white light or violet. Release everything. Let everything go. So when you do this in the private region of your home, when you do it in the privacy of your own home, your own little space, the should be so relaxing that you are totally zen out. That's when your meditation really begins. I hope you enjoyed that brief demonstration of chakra meditation. One of these days, I'll see if I can take you through the whole thing, region by region, making the sound for a full 30-minute or 28-minute episode. Thanks to my crew, Miguel, Akram, Brian, thank you so much. This is Banu Suresh signing off. You are watching Yogaxpress.